Hey, friends. Hey, buddies. Hey, everybody. This is Dharma Bum coming to you from, where am I coming to you from? Near the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina. I want to talk today about rain gear. Today's kind of a gloomy, rainy day, and I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to get hit with rain or not. And so it's a good idea. It's a good time to talk about it. Anybody who hikes on the East Coast is going to deal with rain. That's the way it is, especially summertime. We have thunderstorms in the afternoon quite frequently, so you're going to have to deal with it. So it's a couple of things that we do. Um, from what I can tell, it really kind of boils down to three different things, and I'll show you how that goes. Let me get that right now. Of course, by far the simplest and cheapest way is an umbrella. I bought this one at Homey D's. It's $5 or $6, and it's quite big. Is it the lightest thing around? No, but it's huge and definitely covers me and everything, right? Look at this. So what I like about umbrellas is that in summertime, when it's hot, you're just standing under this thing and you're staying dry and everything's cool. You know what I mean? It's not too hot, not too sweaty. Oh, I'm stuck on something. There's the problem with umbrellas. They get stuck on things. There we go. I've got my other uh, camera support back there. So again, quite big, right? It's about, well, it's almost 4 feet in diameter. It's huge. I have actually used this as a wind block to augment my shelter. That was pretty cool. But in general, so that's the simplest way to do it. And I've been carrying it around with me on this little trip, and it's a bit of a pain because it gets in the way, so it is kind of a pain. If you can figure out a way to hold it in your pack, obviously much better idea. So then the other way to do it is what a lot of us do and have been doing, and that's with your classic rain jacket for yourself, and then waterproof cover for your backpack, right? So I'll demonstrate that to show you how that goes. That has its pros and cons. Number one, we pretty much all have rain jackets. If you're going to be hiking in the woods, you're going to be out there, you really should get a rain jacket, uh, not only for summertime for the rain, but also in colder weather. If you have enough room in here and you can layer under it, now you've got a pretty windproof jacket, all depending on what they use as a waterproofing. The old Gore-Tex, and I'm not up on the latest and greatest facts and figures, but the older Gore-Tex, the original stuff, was certified as windproof. So, and I've had customers tell me that they noticed a significant difference in the windproofness of their Gore-Tex garments versus their waterproof coated garments. That's been a while. That's been a couple of years since I had that feedback from a customer. So maybe things have changed, but I would very definitely do some research. If you're thinking about using it in cold weather, that's I can get along with it, but there are jackets that are made specifically for cold weather. So that's a better option. So that's the two-piece deal. You got a rain jacket for yourself and one for your backpack. And I'll demonstrate that in a second. But while I've got the backpack on, I don't want to take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on. Blah, 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 blah. The third way to do it is something like this. This is Sea to Summit, and this is a backpacker poncho. And I used to have one of these in the Army. In basic training, we all had to wear a belt with a canteen and a poncho on it. And so this is kind of the new version, and this is huge. The reason for that is twofold. so it can actually cover the backpack when you have it on. And then also, they say you can use this as an emergency shelter. I guess you could. Problem with those things is always the hood. You know, you have to cover this up. You're really risk getting water in here. For an emergency, I guess a drip is better than a downpour. So that's an option for that. But I figured while I've got the backpack on, I'm going to try to put this on. Now, last backpacking trip I did, I got caught in a rainstorm. I grabbed this out and I thought, oh, great, I'll just throw this on. I'm covered. Except that it was really hard to get it to actually cover the backpack. So I spent quite a few minutes getting soaked trying to get this to actually cover the backpack. So I'm going to try it today on camera, and we'll see what it looks like, because I didn't look at what it looked like. It was just me. So we'll give it a shot. Here it goes. Okay, now imagine it's raining. And don't tell me I did it. Yeah, I did it in one shot. Maybe because maybe I learned from my mistakes last time. But I had the hardest time. It was several minutes and it never really covered. Everything got soaked, basically. But so here I am in the spring collection. All right. It covers pretty much everything, even down into the back. I have noticed that in hot weather, that it does get hot under here. You have to do this every now and then just to get some of that air out, because it just builds up under here. And then I also noticed that when it stopped raining heavily, you want to cool off a little bit, you can do something like this. It doesn't really stay, but it's an option. Okay, so that's a lot easier than the other time. Kind of funny. I'm glad it worked. Maybe I'm getting smart in my old age. Okay, so I'm going to take the backpack off, and because that's what you'd have to do if you're going to be wearing a rain jacket with a liner, right? Okay, so I'm going to, just like with the airlines, when those oxygen things drop and they tell you to put yours on first and then take care of the other people you're taking care of, that's the way to go. Put your rain jacket on first. And I usually like to wear a baseball cap, because what happens is it forms like a little front porch. I'm going to see if I can get this ball head down a little bit, because it's going to mess up the whole deal. It's not going to work. All right. Just taking off that's the little holder thing for the phone. Just taking that off this tripod unit here. So then we've got the, shower cap for the backpack. Boom. This comes out. This is the Osprey brand. I thought there was a place to tuck it away. There really isn't. Anyway, what they do have is a little drain thing on the bottom. And they also have a couple of clip things on the top. Let's see here. So the clip things go up on the top. You go over the pack, and then they are going to come down underneath the shoulder straps to keep it from blowing off. And then obviously this goes on the bottom. Rain covers do come in handy, even if you're not, using it as a rain cover. I've been a couple years ago. I had a sleeping bag that just it wasn't warm enough, and so I was putting everything on that I had. And one of them was my pack rain cover. Oh, I put it over me. What I found though was that since it's waterproof and it doesn't really breathe, I think I had this over my legs or something like that. They got kind of clammy feeling. So anyway, you've got your rain jacket, you've got the cover for the backpack. Here's the problem though. Here is the problem. Everything, great, stays nice and dry, but this area here is completely uncovered. This is the back panel, obviously. So you're going to put this on. And everything's essentially good. Sorry, I didn't know if I was hiding my microphone or not. Sorry, I forgot about that. So you put this on like this, and essentially everything's good, right? Except that, let's say you're hiking all day and it's raining all day. So your shoulder straps are completely exposed, the whole back panel, your belt, everything's completely exposed, and everything's going to be getting wet like the whole day. So then the next day, you camp that night, it doesn't really dry because it's nighttime. And the next day it's not raining and you put this on with your clothing and you're going to get soaked. So it's I don't know what the best choice is. You have to decide that. That's just the way things are with this, with hiking and with a lot of things in life. It's up to you, basically. So if you do have any thoughts on this, I'd really like to know, because it's something we all deal with. And it's nice to be able to help other people with suggestions, what works for you, what you found doesn't work at all. Right now, I'm sort of like not so much the rain jacket, rain cover thing anymore. I'd much rather go with the poncho, frankly. Um, Another problem, and this happened to me personally, so I'm speaking from experience. I got caught in a huge thunderstorm climbing up Trey Mountain a couple of years ago in August. And just like today, it's a hot, humid August day. And you get to the top, and I think I was about not that far from the shelter, eighth of a mile, quarter mile, not that far, right? But this wicked thunderstorm came in, and of course I'm dressed in my summer hiking attire, shorts, lightweight merino t-shirt, and that was it. And these drops that were coming down were like the ones that they feel like they're about this big. They hit you. You can feel them hitting you. That's how big these raindrops are. Well, guess what? These raindrops are falling from several thousand feet up. They're cold. That water is cold. So every drop that hits you is actually robbing a little bit of heat from your body. So I was trying to wait out this storm. I put my rain cover on, put my jacket on, and I just huddled on the side of the trail, hoping it would pass over. It didn't. It kept going and kept going, and I started getting chilled, pretty strongly getting chilled. So really, the only thing to do at that point is to get up and start moving. You have to start moving to get some warmth. I made it to the shelter. It seemed like it was a lot longer than, it always seems longer than they tell you. And I was basically borderline hypothermic. There were a couple of guys there that had been through hiking. They're southbound, and they saw what was going on and they knew what to do, and they started making me some hot chocolate right away. I took off my wet clothes, put on some dry stuff, and just wrapped my sleeping bag around me and drank some hot chocolate. But that really pointed out to me, if they weren't there and I had to take care of myself entirely, I could have done it, sure, but it would have been a lot less pleasant. That's for sure. So, Yeah, so basically I just want to leave you with that. Thunderstorms in the summer are nothing to play with, is the thing I want to drive home here. You need need rain protection. If you decide to go this way, just be aware everything's got drawbacks, right? I don't think this is any better than the poncho. I don't think the poncho is necessarily any better than this. The poncho could be quicker. And if you can make sure to fasten it all the way around, you've got a pack cover and a body cover all in one. So there's that. And then the umbrella, a lot of people like umbrellas for the reason I was talking about, was that the cold water on your body. It really does affect you. So even a hiker's umbrella, which is considerably smaller, will do that for you. Will protect you from the raindrops themselves. So that's pretty much it for today for the little talk about rain protection. I absolutely invite comments. What's your preference? I'd like to know where people stand on this, because it's an important topic. So thanks again for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this little segment, and hope all is good.